Well, that's the kind of day it's going to be today. Good morning. On this beautiful April morning, welcome to all who gather here, to everyone watching online. Welcome to Shawnee Mission Unitarian Universalist Church. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome here. We are all journeyers here. We are all trying to figure it out. We may not be on the same path, we may not use the same map, and we may not have the same destination, but we covenant, we promise to help each other along the way, or stay out of each other's way and provide a safe space for all travelers. We extend an especially warm welcome to our visitors and anyone who may be watching online for the first time. The words for today's hymns will be projected on the screen behind me, but if you'd like to follow along by using a hymnal and forgot to pick one up on your way in, please feel free to grab one from the cart near the entrance here in a moment. Today's hymns will be only from the gray hymnal. Now let's take a moment to say hello to old friends, new friends, and especially anyone who may be with us for the first time. Remember, we were all newcomers once. And if you're joining us online, please say hi in the chat. We now invite everyone to rise and greet each other.
Good morning. We have a host of announcements this morning, so I will just quickly get into them. The first is that the nominating committee is still at work finding leadership roles for here at SMUUCh. If you want to practice the democratic process on behalf of our beloved community, please contact Colin Phillips, Danny Hewitt, Jen Nelson, Kenna Bassett, or Shannon Yonitz of the nominating committee. And now I have an announcement quick from Deacon.
Good morning. The first thing I would like to talk about is the Volunteer of the Month. It's a new program that we're enacting here at the church. And this month's volunteer is Martha Berry. She's probably... If I had to guess, she's still helping. Oh, there she is. Fantastic. I promised her that I wouldn't embarrass her, so we're going to move on to what the announcement is. We are looking for our next volunteer of the month and taking submissions for who that might be. So think about that person that you have seen cheerfully lifting the load of our community, and come fill out a form so that the Congregational Life Team can help make that decision in the next week, and we can recognize our volunteer for May. My second announcement this morning is that starting next week, we will be offering a photo opportunity for everyone in the congregation. We are updating the Realm database with your photographs so we can connect names and faces in the 21st century. We're also going to update all your Realm information, talk about photo releases, and you are entitled to the image that we take, so you can update your social media, professional resume, or use the photograph for your own purposes. So that will happen in the fellowship hall beginning next week. Wear your best, bring your smile, and get your picture taken. Thank you.
And now we have an announcement from Mark Schiff from the board.
Good morning, everyone. The rollout of the SMUUCh generosity campaign to fund the operations of our church for fiscal year 2024 and 2025 is upon us. The theme of this year's campaign is Living Our Giving. We're asking you to pledge your support by thinking deeply about what's important to you and how SMUUCh provides a community of support to each one of us. Generosity campaign emails and letters will be sent early next week. And similar to years past, your pledges of support can be made by completing a paper pledge form, pledging online via Realm, or using the QR code, which can be found on our brochures, or by contacting Haley or Che in person, by email, or by phone. The pathway to abundance is community. I'll see you on the pathway. And now I'd like to invite John Young to the podium.
In my journey with the Unitarian Universalist Church, SMUUCh, as we know it, I've discovered a profound impact of giving. And it's not merely giving money. Yesterday, I was driving by on 95th Street, and one of you was out on the mowing machine mowing 95th Street area. And our mowing area starts up here at Flum and the railroad track and goes clear to 95th Street. It takes volunteers. It takes giving of their time. But also, it takes money. And money provides this very home we're in now. It provides a space where we can have nurturing love. I've experienced that from you, and it provides a home where I can offer love back to you, the theme of today. And giving is also remembering. Where did we get this space? It was here whenever I arrived about 8 years ago. It is here because of the people before us gave money to buy this location and then gave many hours of volunteering to paint, clear it out, well, all the work that they did, back-breaking work. And this, our home, provides a building that gives us superb facilities for our children, our youth, and you and I as adults. But more than just for us, it has provided space that we can have an influence in the wider community. Because these doors exist and they're open, just about a week ago, we had people that love opera that was here. These doors are open to the homeless. They're open to the theists and the atheists. These doors are open for the food insecure persons, as well as those like myself that are just seeking to make sense of life. In a nutshell, financial giving is about nurturing our wider community, sustaining our own personal values, and empowering meaningful change. And it is through this collective generosity that we now can maintain this space where everyone is welcomed and heard and uplifted. But let's not forget that it's also through our financial giving and our generosity that we can afford this exceptional and wonderful staff that we have. It helps lead us to embody the spiritual qualities of love, of compassion, of justice, and belonging. My commitment to giving is a reflection of my great deep gratitude for all we have together and is represented in the boundless possibilities of the future. Thank you.
Everyone at the Unitarian Universalist Association is talking about Article 2, which is a somewhat bland and unrevealing name that has been given to an important document upon which we as a congregation will be voting on May 19th, and the denomination will be voting at General Assembly in June. The way our congregation votes in May will give direction to our delegates who we're sending to General Assembly. You with me? Okay. Thus, today and next Sunday's service will be working with the contents of Article 2, and Jen, our DRE, will be offering educational workshops on May 5th after the service and May 12th after the service to make sure that everyone feels that they've been given the information they need in order to make an educated decision. We also have room for 2 more delegates, so if you're interested in attending the all-virtual GA this June, or even just attending the business meeting, which is free, let us know. Second to last, May 5th is also a celebration Sunday where we will be recognizing our Volunteer of the Month, celebrating birthdays in the Fellowship Hall, and welcoming new members. And finally, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to our special guest musicians this morning. Andrew Barnes Jameson is an accomplished gospel pianist, as you heard, and the nephew of our own Karen Mitchell. Andrew is visiting us today as a part of a series of residencies all across the country. And also with us is Valerie Chamberlain, our guest vocalist, who is currently starring in the musical Blues in the Night, presented by the Black Repertory Theater of Kansas City. Let's welcome them. what would it mean to put love at the center? What would have to fall away? What would come into focus? If we were to humbly place ourselves at the feet of love and say, we have come here to learn, to study, to grow in the tutelage of something so vast and limitless as love itself. Come, let us worship. Please rise as you're willing and able for our opening hymn, number 6, Just as Long as I Have Breath. As Charlie Beth comes forward to join her grandpa here, we invite you to join us as we recite our covenant. Let us affirm that love is the doctrine of this church, the quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with one another.
Oh. Each month, we as a community take time to reflect on a theme. The children do this in their classes, and we do it here in worship and in our small groups. This month, the theme is interdependence, a long word that simply means people or things that depend on other people or things. The concept of interdependence is important to Unitarian Universalists. The current 7th principle of Unitarian Universalism, adopted in 1985, states that we affirm and promote the respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. As you've already heard, the Unitarian Universalist Association is considering a revision to Article 2 of its bylaws to be voted upon at the June General Assembly. And you'll hear more about other revisions in today's service. The important thing to know is that the revision being considered by the UUA still contains the idea of interdependence. You'll still see the words interdependence and web of all existence. However, there is some new additional language in the revision about nurturing sustainable relationships of care and respect, mutuality and justice, and about working to repair harm and damaged relationships. Personally, I'm happy to see this new, more expansive view of interdependence, especially the part about nurturing and caring for relationships as well as for our planet. When I reflect on interdependence, I tend not to think so much about the web of existence, but about the personal relationships and how truly dependent we are upon each other. Not in a physical way or a financial way, but in a spiritual and emotional way. We humans are social animals. We need to be with one another. Now, I really enjoy serving as worship associate and helping with Sunday service. One of the perks of the job is that once in a while, and if the boss okays, you get to tweak the script a little bit, put a piece of yourself into it. And occasionally, the script does need a little tweaking to keep it fresh. I have a secret man crush on Bernie Norcott Mahaney, who is the best worship associate at tweaking the script. I had a tweak, not too long ago. You know that part of the service right before candle lighting where we say, we come to this place to see and be seen, to hear and be heard? Mine. I believe Reverend Rose added the nudging part that comes later. Why did I want to make that particular tweak? Because it expresses something I feel to my very core. In addition to all the wonderful things we do as a church community, we come to this place to be together, to be in relationship. Somehow we are more when we are together than when we are apart. This powerful feeling was brought home to me, etched into my heart from, of all things, a bit of movie dialogue. The 2004 movie Shall We Dance is the story of Beverly and John, a couple in a long-term marriage, who seem to have grown apart and distant and disconnected from each other over the years. John decides to take classes in ballroom dancing, but keeps this to himself. We don't know exactly why he's doing this, and after a while, Beverly begins to suspect that John may be having an affair. She hires a private detective to follow her husband. However, she has second thoughts, and deciding to give her husband a little space and a little grace, she meets with the detective to tell him she won't be needing his services after all. During their meeting, Beverly asks the detective, "Why is it, do you think, people get married?" He answers, "Passion?" "No," she says. "Then why?" Here's what Beverly says. "Because we need a witness to our lives. I mean, there's 1 billion people on the planet, and what does any one life mean? But in a marriage, you're promising to care about everything. The good things, the bad things, the terrible things, the mundane things, all of it, all of the time, every day. You're saying your life will not go unnoticed because I will notice it. Your life will not go unwitnessed because I will witness it." I won't tell you how the movie ends, but I can tell you that those words had such an impact on me that they ended up in my wedding vows when Kevin and I were married, and that's what influenced my recent tweak in the order of service script. We need a witness to our lives. We need to be seen and to see. This can happen in a marriage, in a friendship, in a neighborhood, in a family, or in a church community. We are in relationship here. We will be your witness. Your life will not go unnoticed because we will notice it. We will watch your children grow. We will be there to share the joy of your life's milestone events. And during the hard times, if you will let us in, we will sit with you and hug you when words cannot bring comfort. And we will remember you and say your name when you are gone, as we know you will remember us. We are interdependent.
Hello. Could I please have all the children come up here? Hi, guys. Hi, Sammy. Hi, friends. How are you all? Good, good. Hi, everybody. Well, I wanted to show you a little symbol today. I'm going to have you change the slide. Oh, here it is. Can you guys see this? Do you see that symbol up there on the wall? What do you think about when you see it? Do you notice how there's little swirlies all around it, almost like a doodle? And do you see that, what's in the middle of it? A chalice. This same symbol is in the middle, and it says love over the chalice. Well, this is a symbol that has recently been made to show what we value as Unitarian Universalists and why we come to church. So I'm wondering, do people ever ask you if you go to church? Does anyone ever say, do you go to church? Yeah, and what do you say? Yeah. And has anyone ever asked you what it is that you believe? Has anyone ever asked you if you believe in God? Mm-hmm. And is that a hard question to answer or an easy question to answer? Easy. Good. There are some questions we have that are so easy and some that are really hard to answer. And a lot of those questions the grown-ups still struggle with. But really, what this symbol is telling us is that how we are together, all of it centers around love. And you can believe what you want to believe. You can show up in the ways that you want to transform. You can be generous. We can do justice together, but all of it centers around love. So I have one more question. How do you know when you're loved? Might it, yeah? Because somebody tells you. Yeah, somebody says, I love you, and then you know you're loved. Anyone else? One more. How do you know when you're loved? Yeah. When someone tells you. Yeah. Yep. Well, being loved and loving are very important parts of being in relationship with each other, and that's what we're talking about. And I'm glad that Jim brought up witnessing, because I actually want us to do something today that's about being witnessed in your love. Okay, so will you guys do something for me? Will you go get someone in the church who loves you? Go grab them and bring them up here. Yes, you have to stand up here with your children or grandchildren. Come on. Okay. All right. I'm just going to have you make, you want to sit? Okay. All right. So parents, grandparents, guardians, great-grandparents, I'm going to ask you to tell your child or children what it is you love about them. I'm going to give you a minute to think.
Willa, I love your free spirit.
I love, Clea, that you're always helpful and your spirit.
Okay, I love your adventurous, you know what I mean. Yeah. And I love your, what is it? I'm drawing it. She said I was going to get stage fright. I guess I did. Mischievousness.
Your mischievousness.
Yes.
Charlie, I love your cleverness and eagerness to learn and your attitude towards life.
Well, Sam, I love how curious you are.
Marisol, I love how funny you are. All right, let us sing our children to their classes. You may go on your way.
Love lifted me, love lifted me when I was down and out. Love lifted me, love lifted me, love lifted me when I was down and out. Love lifted me. Love lifted me, love lifted me when I was down and out. Love lifted me, love lifted me, love lifted me when I was down and out. Love lifted me. I was sinking far from the peaceful shore, very deeply seeking to rise no more. Oh, somebody singing my soul's best song. Love so true in my heart where it belongs. Oh, love lifted me, love lifted me when I was down and out. Love lifted me, love lifted me, love lifted me when I was down and out. Love lifted me, love lifted, love lifted, love lifted me, love lifted, love lifted, love lifted me. Love lifted, love has lifted me higher. Love lifted, love lifted, love lifted me. Said love has lifted me higher. When I was down and out, love lifted me. When I was down and out, love lifted me. When I was down, love lifted, love lifted, love lifted me.
We come to this place to see and be seen, to teach and be taught, to hear and be heard. Now reach over and nudge the person sitting next to you, reminding them that we are gathered here together in peace, in authenticity, and intention. We also come to this place to share our joys and sorrows. If you have a rare joy or a profound sorrow and wish to light a candle, please come forward now.
Hi, I'm Diane Myers, and I'm lighting this candle, I guess of concern for my brother and his family and everyone who loves him. He just went into the doctors for a routine visit and ended up going to the ER by ambulance, cardiac arrest, sepsis, pneumonia, kidney failure. But he's awake today, and things look a lot better than they did yesterday.
My name is Vicki Trott, and I'm lighting this candle to celebrate the 12th birthday today of our oldest grandson.
I'm Shannon Jonitz, minus the ginger hair, probably people recognize me from. Wanted to wish a 24th birthday, happy birthday to my ginger beard son, Andrew. Yeah, that curly-haired kid that used to help out doing all sorts of stuff. He's 24, happy, stable, living life, and I'm just so proud of him.
I'm Melissa Malozzi, and I have a candle of joy. I found out my last lymphoma treatment is June 14th, so I'll be done.
I'm Jen Holtz, and I have one candle, two joys. Harrison did recently get Eagle, the Eagle rank in Scouts. For part of that was the project he completed here at 1020, and also my dad will celebrate his 77th birthday and gets to go out to dinner or to lunch today with 3 of his grandkids and a lot of family around him, and feel very lucky.
I'm CC Blessing. I am lighting this candle for 2 reasons. My adopted, my adopted son was in a massive car accident, single car accident. We're not certain, but we think he was trying to kill himself. He is barely alive, doing better. And I hope that all of you, it was drunk driving, they're assuming by the police. So if you know anyone that goes out and drinks and drives, slap them upside the head.
I think you know what. Well, I think you know what this is for. I can actually speak. That's weird. The other one's for my granddaughter. She went to prom last night. And she's going to graduate from high school. And it's, you gotta light the candles. It'll be the first person in my wife's family that graduated on time.
I'm Mark Schiff, and I just want to wish Terry a happy birthday today. He is 70 years young.
Oh my God. Somebody's blushing. I light the remaining candle for all the joys and sorrows that remain unspoken in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts. Please join me in singing. Please join me for a moment of silence. Let us come more fully into this place, becoming aware of your body, taking a deep breath if you are inclined, letting the bustle of getting here melt away, and coming into this space of connection. In the spirit of Buddhist loving-kindness meditation, we will sing our meditative hymn, but I invite you to remain aware of a certain part of your body as you sing, which is your heart space. Please remain seated. Before I get into the readings today, I'd like to give you a little bit of background on this Article 2. Basically, the 7 principles of Unitarian Universalism are found unceremoniously within the bylaws of the Unitarian Universalist Association. The bylaws are the foundation of how we promise we're going to be together and are voted on by the denomination. But you would never know they were there if they weren't posted all over everything. But also written into this document is the continued revision of the principles, specifically that we revise them every 15 years by undertaking a denomination-wide process of reworking the language, making sure that they are meeting the times and reflecting our membership. The principles as they are currently were created 40 years ago in 1985, which is 2 or 3 generations of revision overdue. Now, next week, I know you're just on the edge of your chairs, we're going to give you more history about how the principles have shifted during their first and only revision, but I will tell you it was seismic from what came in 1961 to 1985. But today, because we're talking about love and putting love at the center, Jim will read you the UUA's board their charge to the commission on Article 2.
Thus saith the board. I couldn't resist. The UUA board charged we said, we therefore charge this commission to root its work in love as a principal guide in its work, attending particularly to the ways that we and our root traditions have understood and articulated love, and how we have acted out of love. The commission is charged with reviewing all sections of Article 2 and is free to revise, replace, or restructure them as needed to meet the objectives stated above. There is nothing sacred about the number of principles or sources, nor their specific wording, nor in the way that Article 2 is laid out. We encourage creativity. And they came up with this, where you will see that love is at the center of the values of generosity, justice, interdependence, equity, transformation, and pluralism. And next Sunday, we will go into much more depth into this image as well in the 2 workshops in early May.
For our second reading today, I bring you one of the most traditional readings of love, which my mom read at my wedding and which is perhaps one of the most well-known of the Christian tradition. 1 Corinthians 13. If I speak in the tongues of mortals and angels, but do not have love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and knowledge, and if I have faith so as to remove mountains but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give away all my possessions, and if I hand over my body to be burned but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. Prophecies will come to an end, tongues will cease, knowledge will come to an end. We know in part, but when the complete comes, the partial will come to an end. When I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. And when I became an adult, I put an end to childish ways. Now we see in a mirror a riddle. Then we will see face to face. Now I know in part, then I will be fully known. Now faith, hope, and love abide, these 3, and the greatest of these is love. Love is at the center. We are grounded in love. Love is the doctrine of this church. Love and our striving to be more loving offers us an opening in any given moment, a compass that will not lead us astray, a way we can be proud to follow, a physical feeling of warmth and joy, and a centering in ourselves. I asked the kids earlier what it felt like to be loved, how they know when they are loved, and also what it feels like to love. These are central questions to us Unitarian Universalists as we discern how we want to be in the world. But what is love? It can feel like a very amorphous word, a sort of catch-all for the dreamy and wholesome things in life. Live, laugh, love. But what's the real weight beneath this word? Perhaps that is the question for we who say that love is the doctrine of our church. That is what we must be in true discernment about. As our text says, we only know love in part. Perhaps, for example, we know how it feels to be loved and love in a romantic sense, but we don't know how it could feel to be truly loved and embraced by a community. Or maybe we know how it feels to love the seasons of the earth, but we don't know how to love ourselves properly or holistically. Maybe we know how to dream about love, but we don't know how to do it. This journey towards a deeper love is so difficult, actually, that it's at the very center of so many religions. Take, for example, the Buddhist tradition, with some strains focused almost entirely on loving kindness meditation, focusing and refocusing us on compassion, specifically drawing the attention to that warm space in your heart. And this is also why Jesus taught so much about love, and why in the Quran it is said that to love another human being is how you come to love Allah more. And this is why in Article 2 we have put love at the center of all the values that we hold so dear. That not only are these values of ours connected with that swirl, that thread that binds them, but that in order to understand one in how it relates to the other, one must weave in and out and back again through love. For example, to understand how pluralism relates to transformation, you must move through love. And to see how that relates to generosity, you come through love again. To understand how justice relates to interdependence, you come through and around and over and under love every time. I wonder if we might use this model to think about our own lives as we try to balance. Take a moment to consider what it could look like for you to put love at the center of something you're struggling with right now. How might you make a radically active, loving choice for yourself, for someone else, for a group, for the earth? As we move through lives that might seem or feel disparate or unmoored, with us searching for clarity, I wonder what could happen if we just refocus on love in its endless iterations. If in any moment of pain or confusion, we could simply look for what and how we could love. That in order to understand, say, if rest was up here as one of your values, how it relates to your creativity, must you move through love of yourself by resting before you can be creative? Or maybe you can rest once you've loved the world through art. And then you look to see how all that relates to interdependence and others. And then you look to see how your body relates to your family, how you must once again come through and around and over love every time. What would it look like for love to be at the center of your life as a practice that draws you into focus and grounded, centering yourself always around love? Part of that journey, of course, would be things falling away and finding out that there are places where you really are disconnected from love. Perhaps you will find, like our reading says, that in those places where you do not have love, you do feel like a clanging cymbal or a noisy gong. That even when you are humble and giving in some way, that in the places where you do not have the love, you are actually gaining nothing, giving nothing. You know, it's been very interesting for me to return from sabbatical, after which I am more in balance myself, but returning to the same pulpit and the same relationships. It's given me pause to think about the nature of love. Because giving someone time to rest and renew is certainly an act of love. to me as an individual, but also it loves on the congregation because you have a healthier minister. And honestly, it's making me think a little bit about practicing what you preach. Because I know I stand up here and tell you to love yourselves and love the earth and love the ways we transform and grow, but I wonder if in some way I was not balanced myself and then was a little bit of a clanging cymbal. I didn't feel out of balance, but now that I'm on this side of it, I'm seeing a real difference in how grounded I feel in this space. Anyone here who works in a helping profession or works at all knows that sometimes yourself is just passed over. Let me unpack this for you. I do love myself, and I have loved myself, but I think it was kind of a passive love. And as I was on sabbatical, I moved, I think, from a passive love of myself to an active love. Let me go to this text to explain a little bit more about what I mean. 1 Corinthians is one of the most widely quoted and memorized texts of the New Testament. Love is patient, love is kind. But as I was looking at this text and doing my exegesis, I realized that the way patience and kindness has been translated is in the wrong tense. Thank you, translators. The way we hear it normally is that love is a noun and patience and kindness are the descriptors of that thing over there, that love sort of exists in the ether, this amorphous abstract value that is the catch-all for all the wholesomeness in the universe, when really the way it's written in Greek is that patience and kindness are verbs. Therefore, love is being patient and love is being kind. Patience is an action, and kindness is an action. AKA, love is when you are patient. Love is when you are kind. Love is when you embody love. Love becomes, pops forth, blooming like the rare and beautiful flower that can come from your heart, and from there, love flows. Therefore, you need to be right in your heart, open and blooming and loving for those parts of your life to connect. And as I reflect on my own wellness post-sabbatical, I do see that I'm so grounded because I did work during that time. I sat myself down in that chair and showed my writing to other writers. I picked up those weights and lifted them over my own head. I spent hours sewing this beautiful stole. And I really do feel different, grounded in a different way, in a way that I've never had the luxury of doing that in my adult life. It's almost like I'm in the building in a different way. So let's imagine that when we see this and we see love at the center, we imagine above the word love, active love. That in order to understand generosity, say, it's not just feeling generous, it's actually offering someone a place to stay. It's actual time, it's actual gifts. That interdependence isn't just an idea that we value, it's actually planting seeds. It's actually fighting for the rights of others. This is something that I love so much about Unitarian Universalism, is that you have to be in the building. This is not a passive faith. It's your free and responsible search for truth and meaning after all. No one else is going to discern for you. It's a living tradition. We in this room are the religion, which is why they wrote revision of the principles into the bylaws. This is why making this symbol was such a process, a long string of actions that had to go in a particular order because we can't get there without first doing the doing. And anyway, nothing can or should happen quickly in a group of people as large as a denomination. So in order to get this symbol, the commission went through 45 open call feedback sessions with over 4,600 participants, 29 surveys with 10,000 responses, 4 years of careful process that did the work to engage the actual membership of the denomination in thinking about what is precious to us, our principles, and keep them. The principles aren't going anywhere. They're being incorporated into Article 2, which we will show you in more depth next week. And then rework them to meet the world that we are actually living in. This process, I think, is an act of love to our people and to our ideals. And indeed, that was the charge of the commission, to root its work in love as a principal guide, attending particularly to the ways that we have understood and articulated love in how we have acted out of love, which is hard. As Dostoevsky said, active love is a harsh and fearful thing compared to the love of dreams. This symbol is an imperfect attempt at love, as they all are, for we only know love in part. We don't and can't understand love or how to be perfectly loving now. This is the journey of life, the unfolding and unfurling of how keeping an active love at the center of our lives and faith could grow us and teach us. We don't understand how to bring it forth now, as we will later. We can't. It, as the text so mysteriously said, is a riddle. We can only have love as we can do it now in this moment. Only focus and refocus ourselves again and again on that loving center, in each unfolding moment being the partial and imperfect self that greets the world each day. It may be that something you are clinging to must fall away on this journey towards being love. It may be that there is some letting go as we humbly place ourselves at the feet of love and say, we have come to learn, to study, to grow in the tutelage of something so vast and limitless as love. But let us be brave. Love is daring. Love is generous. In your loving, ground in love, letting love be the doctrine of your faith. For loving offers us an opening in any given moment, a compass that will not lead us astray, a way we can be proud to follow, warm and joyful and centered in ourselves. Let our church be one that encourages us, gives us heart, that we may in turn be the love. Thank you.
The work of the church depends on us, our generosity of time, wisdom, and financial resources. We invite you to give generously to support the ongoing work of the church. The offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation of our shared values.
In case you have fallen by the wayside of life, dreams and visions shattered, you're all broken inside. You don't have to stay in the shape that you're in. The potter wants to put you back together again. Oh, the potter wants to put you back together again. In case your situation has turned upside down and all that you've accomplished is now on the ground, you don't have to stay in the shape that you're in. The potter wants to put you back together again. Oh, the potter wants together again. You'll find joy in the potter's house. You'll find joy in the potter's house, and you'll find love in the potter's house. And you'll find love in the potter's house, and you'll find healing. There'll be healing in the potter's house. You'll find healing in the potter's house. You'll find everything you need in the potter's house. You'll find everything you need in the potter's house. You'll find everything you need in the potter's house. 'Cause the potter wants to put you back together again. Oh, the potter wants to put you back together again.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on until I find it. There is more love somewhere. Will everyone stand and join with us? There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more
Miss Valerie and Andrew, thank you so much for that. Yeah. This week, I invite you to go out and find that love and be that love. Go in peace.